Thank you so much for taking some time this morning for us to have a nice huddle up of Caerusnet MVPs and facilitators that have MVPs. It's great to be with you today. This purpose of us coming together is number one, to let you know that what you do is noticed. What you do is appreciated. And we go so fast in life, it's not always easy to slow down and take that in just a little bit, but I hope you will right now. Everybody that's on this call is really just top shelf in terms of the quality of character and human that you are. People with deep empathy that actually celebrate the successes of others. Isn't that weird, right? Giving first, right? Being a part of somebody's journey, being somebody that when your name is brought up, they go, I love Amy Knight. I love Stacy Freisinger. You guys are in that class of people that are just so well thought of. And when I started Caerusnet, I came from BNI, and it was a different environment, a little bit more rigid, a little bit more cutthroat, successful still, but I wanted to build an organization that led with heart. I like to say that Caerusnet members are what I call like-minded and like-hearted. Like-minded from the standpoint you're in growth mode in your business. You're always looking to add great people to refer to build your business with, but you're also like-hearted. Again, getting back to that idea of being someone who really does genuinely, enthusiastically enjoy seeing the success of others and having a role to play in that. So when I started Caerusnet, the qualities that I was looking for in Caerusnet members were people that are fun to be around, great at what they do. Nobody's ever going to hesitate referring you. People that, show up, like I said, put others first, great at what you do. Just kind of all those qualities that really are going to make a team special because if people aren't like that on a team, who are they going to attract, right? Who are they going to attract? So when you have people that really are admirable and the ones that we hold high up into the air and say, this is a great person, that attracts more people just like that person. And that's why Caerusnet has had the success that it's had. We are referral teams at the rudimentary level, right? That's if we were to break it down to the most common denominator, we are referral teams. We want to support each other. But because of the types of people you are, we evolve into like referral families. And it's just a phenomenal experience. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being such fantastic examples of what's possible in Caerusnet. And I'm going to look forward to your sharing today, hearing from you. Here's the format for today. Our facilitators will introduce you as their MVP, or if the facilitator has more than one team, multiple MVPs will introduce them one at a time. Just a brief introduction, what it is that that facilitator admires about that person, and then give you an opportunity to share what I'm hoping will be number one, what is it you enjoy most about Caerusnet? And number two, what would your best advice be to any other CirrusNet member to have a better experience themselves, right? To increase their game. Anything you found that's worked for you that you could share, let's put that collective wisdom to use and benefit the entire network. So, with that being said, I am actually going to introduce today the CirrusNet Facilitator of the Year for 2025. And that is Doug Moffett from the Moffett Group. I know. Thank you, Kathy. Me too. I always enthusiastically clap for Doug because, number one, he is that person. We talked about the qualities of a member. Well, geez, if the facilitators don't exude that, that's going to be hard to find those people too. So, Doug, you were a phenomenal CirrusNet member with me for, 9, 10 years or so before you broke out of the corporate chains and started your coaching practice and started your first CirrusNet team, and then you added another CirrusNet team, and then you added another CirrusNet team. And Doug has three CirrusNet team that he runs, Brighton, Ann Arbor, and Canton. And I sent out a survey this year to all of the members on every team just to say, hey, it's time to nominate our facilitator of the year. And Doug received the most surveys responded to what they loved about Doug. especially love your toolbox and your professionalism and just your unbridled enthusiasm for what's possible when it
Mm.
comes to relationships, Doug. That was the general message that I got about you. So I can't remember if this is three in a row or four in a row. How many is this that you've received?
I think four. I think
Four.
four.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so aside from the surveys, Doug has also maintained and grown his team. He drove from Brighton to Detroit for years driving from Brighton to Detroit and getting there and going, oh, okay, this person's not here, this person's not here. The visitor that was going to come didn't show. And he still had to put that face on, right? Still had to lead with that chin up and believing in what he's doing. And as a result of that, he fostered belief there in Brighton or in Detroit, and they've gone on to form a very nice team there that I'm sure brings you lots of joy. So, Doug, I would just like you to please say a word about what it is you enjoy about facilitating more than
Mm,
anything. And then I'd like you to also start introducing your MVPs, one at a time, because we'd like to give each one
yeah.
of them an opportunity to share their journey.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate you. I just love Caerusnet. I have from the very beginning when I didn't think I needed to join a referral group, but I liked you and I admired you and your leadership. And I was like, I guess I'll give this thing a try. And then, 9 years later, uh, when you said, I think you should be a facilitator, I was like, I don't think so. But then my wife said, no, I think you'd be good at that. So I'll give that a try too. And here we are. So just thank you for believing in me. What I love being about a facilitator is helping other people become and strive. We were just saying this week in our meetings to pursue and strive for being a master connector and just really loving and enjoying from the bottom of our hearts connecting other people. And even if it doesn't result in business, perhaps they make a new friend. They something may happen down the road, right? But just and I'll get into it. One of my favorite things and takeaways is from when I introduced Chris. I'll mention something that's really been huge for me, and I think it's huge for him too. So thank you again. It's an honor. I love this group. I love the like-minded, like-hearted. I like getting together with this group all the time. And I look forward to hearing from everybody today because I keep learning and growing from each one of you. So thank you. I think that's what we're all here for and what we all appreciate and just keeps us going, keeps us green and growing, as I just shared with the group this morning. So without further ado, we'll go in alphabetical order. So I know Anya is super excited to share. So I'm going to start with our Ann Arbor MVP, who is Anya Kobler, who Steve kind of made the connection with earlier. Yes, she is married, or I should say David is married. Wait, which is the best way? Anya's married to Dave. David's married. David gets to be married to Anya. And that's actually how we met her. Funny, quick little story. The Koblers decided to begin their anniversary celebration visiting the Ann Arbor Caerusnet happy hour at the session room. And that was the first time Anya and I ever met. And sure enough, Dave invited her, I think a few months later, to visit. Anya works for the University of Michigan, is extremely talented. She's kind, she's generous. She just shows up and just brings a great energy and attitude. And I will say, at the end of last year, when I had my hip surgery, she really took over our final meeting and organized a little session where they made kits for the homeless and unhoused in Washtenaw community, and that just shows exactly who she is, and she just cares about people so deeply. So Anya, thank you. We appreciate you and are excited to hear from you first.
Thank you so much. I'm Anya Kobler. I work at University of Michigan in Student Disability Services, doing stewardship and fundraising, working with donors, working with volunteers with our adaptive sports program, and just really seeking to kind of spread awareness and advocacy for disability issues. I joined Caerusnet to get more involved with the community in Ann Arbor and share adaptive sports with the community of Ann Arbor. I will say the thing that I love the most about Caerusnet that was surprising to me, I've been to some networking events before where it was like you pass your business card and then move on. and it's like very transactional. That's not who I am. David and I are very committed to community building, probably evidenced by the fact that we went to a Caerusnet happy hour on our anniversary, um, because we really believe that community is one of the ways that we're designed to live in this world. So I think, Caerusnet is a wonderful community, and Doug's team, people are really given to that idea of showing up for each other and caring for each other and just forming relationships. So that is what I love most. And if I was to give advice, I would say to lean into that, um, lean into relationship building, and everything else that is good will follow.
That's awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Anya. Appreciate you. Next up, from the Brighton team, which was my first and original team, coming up on 8 years now in March, is the amazing Kathy King. Like, if you haven't heard Kathy King's name enough, you're gonna hear it lots and lots and lots. And we are so excited. Sorry if I'm stealing your thunder here, Steve, that you're gonna hear a lot from Kathy. You're gonna start to hear from her today. But then March 5th, she is one of the speakers, and I am so, so excited. So real quick, I met Kathy, yes, through a referral from a woman named Jody Randolph in Ann Arbor. They knew each other from the dance world. And Kathy and I had a little trust builder before she knew what a trust builder was at what was at the time Two Brothers, now Captains on Main in Brighton, which has seen its share of trust builders over the years. And Kathy and I sat out back, and I'll never forget, it was a beautiful sunny day. And she said, Doug, I feel like I've been living in a silo. And now that I have my own business, I want to learn from some other business owners. And it turns out she has done so much of that, but now we're all learning from her because she's amazing. She's outstanding. Thank you for all you do. And we'll look forward to hearing from you next.
Thanks, Doug. That's so sweet. Yeah. Oh, and I got my trophy, so I gotta show the bling. My
Yes.
husband had a great idea. He said I gotta get a big gold chain and like hang it from my gold. So I spared you today. We didn't do that, but thank you so much. And yeah, I'm super excited, Steve. Thank you for inviting me to speak at Referraltopia. I cannot wait. That's going to be such a great experience for all of us. Um, Yeah, so I'm on Doug's Tuesday morning team. And when I first joined the team, my business was specifically focused on business coaching for dance industry professionals. So I have a background as a choreographer, professional performer. So through COVID, really helping navigate that. And so I'm thinking, what can this group of business owners and all these other industries, they don't know anything about dance. They're not going to know anyone I can connect with. And sure enough, after my first meeting, but probably three of the people in the group go, "Oh, I know a dance teacher down the road. Oh, I know my kid danced at this studio 10 years ago or what." And so it really is just such a small world. And I think what I just like Anya said too, what I love about Caerusnet so much is the community of it. And when I come to our meetings on Tuesdays, the first question from other members in our group, it's never, "Hey, how's business? Hey, what's your business doing this week?" It's always, "How are you? How's your mom? How was that trip you took with your husband?" So it really is, we're developing great friendships and great personal relationships. And something my late father always said that I bring up a lot in my coaching now as an entrepreneurship coach, working with women across all types of industries. We don't want to chase clients, we want to chase relationships. And that is something that we really follow in Caerusnet a lot, is just chasing those relationships, just like we're doing this morning here today, building community, getting to know people as people. And when we do that, the clients will come. So I think my biggest piece of advice for other members would be, come into your meetings with open minds. Even if you work in a very niche industry, if you have something unique or different that you do, I think coming to meetings with an open mind, knowing that you're building your community and your relationships, and you never know who will be able to connect you with the right person, or who in the room is going to be able to change the trajectory of what your business is doing. So I think definitely just come into it with open mind and lean into your community. So thank you so much.
That's awesome. Thank you, Kathy. And we're looking forward to March 5th already. And I would place the invitation. Steve, I'm going to steal your thunder one more time. Happy hour that day. Yes, I'm hosting again. We're switching up the venue. Joe Cool's in Brighton at Green Oak. So let's get as many of you MVPs as we can to the afterglow that day after hearing from all the great speakers. All right, so last but not least of the Moffett Group Caerusnet teams, from the Detroit team, we have the amazing Chris Leonard, who was introduced to us by a guy named Ryan Shuckman, who's on the Ann Arbor team. Ryan's been on the Ann Arbor team since day one. And so Ryan is one of those guys, when he passes you a referral, it's not, maybe not gold, like that's overselling Ryan, but it's pretty darn good. And when he said, hey, you got to talk to Chris Leonard, he's a superstar. He retired and then figured out it wasn't for him, and he's building a financial services business. And what I saved, Chris, I just love this about you, and I think this probably is a great motto for all of these MVPs, is that we should chase and pursue building a portfolio of relationships. We'll build on Kathy's dad a little bit, right? Let's chase a portfolio of relationships, because that's what Chris is building, and he's been an awesome member of the Detroit team. Chris, let's hear from you next.
Hey, good morning, team. Good morning, Doug. Good morning, Steve. Thanks for having me here today. So, Chris Leonard, part of the Detroit God and Goddesses Caerusnet groups. I am a wealth manager, specializing in helping pre-retirees and early stage retirees map out their retirement roadmap with clarity. So, Doug kind of alluded to it, decided to retire, and before the ink could dry on the resignation, I knew it wasn't time to hang up the gloves. Found a new career that I love, which was financial planning, and decided to really help others walk in the same footsteps that I've walked in. And ironically enough, I was able to partner up with the team who helped me with my retirement planning. So it's been an amazing journey. So Caerusnet, to Doug's point, Ryan Shuckman, he referred me to Caerusnet, and I've heard other people joke about being a recovering BNI addict. But I'd been to some BNI events, and it was just too similar to, I think, that rigid culture, corporate culture that I was getting away from. And I came to Caerusnet, and it was like, right? So needless to say, the thing that I love most about Caerusnet is just the organic culture, right? I think we've seen that theme in every single MVP that we've talked to today, about the genuineness, about getting to know others, and the importance of relationship building, right? Referrals, in my mind, I think they'll align with relationship buildings, but most importantly, I love the culture of Caerusnet. If I was to give advice to a new member, it would be go in with an open mindset and then a mindset of giving. I'm a big believer in, you get out of life what you help others get out of life. So it's kind of that natural circle of life. And I think Caerusnet's done a great job of putting that into action. So thank you both for having me here today. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, thank you so much, Doug, for those phenomenal introductions and great stories as well too. Anya, Kathy, and Chris, you guys are phenomenal. Appreciate you a ton, and I hope that you guys will be at the breakfast this year on July 22. I look forward to high-fiving all of you. But hey, we're going to keep moving on. I'm not doing this in any particular order this morning, but I want to have Steve Beber go next. Steve Beber is the phenomenal, experienced, seasoned, steady Eddie Celine Caerusnet facilitator. He's been maintaining a team of around 20 or so since he's been doing this. And when you're a facilitator, it's like riding on the open water, because sometimes you're high on a wave and things are going wonderful, and then the next thing you know, the wave crashes and you've got to get back up on it to ride the next wave. And Steve is just that consummate, enthusiastic person, and he attracts great people. The great person that he attracted, I just want to add, Brian Gunter. Brian was one of the original Canton Caerusnet members. I met Brian many, many years ago, and Ava and I were putting that team together. And when I saw his name from Steve as the MVP, I'm like, it can't be. So, Brian, I'm really excited to hear from you today as well, too. But Steve, go ahead, make your introduction. And
Well, good morning. And I had to go in on my phone because whatever's going on with my computer,
Oh,
wasn't cooperating. So I'm on two devices right now. Uh, so can you hear me okay?
We got you perfect. You're doing great.
All right, excellent. Anyhow, wait a minute.
You're
There.
okay.
Okay. I had to mute both. You can hear me, but I couldn't. That was a problem. I could not hear anything coming from you guys.
Okay.
Mouths were moving, but anyhow, so you know, being a Caerusnet facilitator has been really, I think, a very amazing um, dynamic because the interaction with people, the connections you're able to make, the people you get to know and help, that is cool. And the thing I like about the Caerusnet system is uniformity, consistency. You've put together a really, really good program. We can run our own show, but why try to reinvent the wheel? And people that come in and see Caerusnet thinking it's kind of like BNI, and when they get they're surprised when they come in and see that it's a different animal. And the thing I like about it is, after a meeting, we'll have people hanging around for 15, 20, sometimes 30 minutes in little conversations, just serendipitous conversations that pop up, which also then seem at times to create a referral for the next meeting. And, that's kind of neat. We're always laughing about something. And people that come in and visit, I mean, now whether it's a fit or not, that's their call. But people that come in and visit, I have never, ever, ever had a comment about, I didn't feel welcome. It's always, oh, you've got a really nice group. It made me feel very welcome. It was fun to be in here. And, that's kind of cool. Now, Brian Gunter, to me, he was a hands down choice for our MVP because Brian has gone out of his way to, really promote the group, invite people, bring some folks in that have become members, and is always promoting the Caerusnet system and our group to people he comes across at the bank. And somebody goes out of their way to really help build the team. In my eyes, that is an MVP. So great guy, very personable. I can understand why he's manager at the bank, and I'm so glad he was on our team. And also, he's got hidden talent. He's a singer, and he's been known to not sing at the group, but sing at a variety of venues around the area. So, I'm so glad he's on our team. Brian's a great MVP. So, Brian, let me turn it over to you.
Thanks, Steve. Hopefully everybody can hear me well.
We got you.
This group is fun because, like Steve Ziskowski said, I knew him back 2015, 2016 when I was getting my feet wet as a manager in banking, my first management gig in Canton on Michigan Ave. They ended up closing that location, but banking's the only constant in banking is change. Been through a few banks since the time I met Steve Ziskowski. Loved having him. His wife Ava was always talking about growing great vegetables out of this apparatus on your porch, and these great vitamin gummies. And I constantly think about that, which is really funny because I have these twin 2-year-olds, and I'm like, I need to get some of those vitamin gummies with all the vegetables in there. And then Steve Beber, I met him on my maiden voyage into Michigan in 2009. And it's funny that we reconnected because I ended up trying, as I became a manager again, because I was not a manager for a little while with Level One, and then they were bought by First Merchants, and then I became a manager again. So I got to get back into what I know, which is networking. And I saw Steve at I think a chamber event, and he said, I'm doing this Caerusnet. I'm like, Caerusnet, what a small world. So it's just like putting the old team back together in my mind. It's like deja vu almost. So just getting back to the basics and doing things we've always done. That's what I love about Caerusnet. In my situation, it's almost like rekindling an old flame. And then also I would say what I would give as advice is what I try to do in the group is to do something memorable every time I'm there, whether it's humiliate myself with something funny or give something away or have a funny sound bite to play during my 60 seconds or I try to do something that people like, oh, they it kind of breaks them out of the early morning stupor and it's something to catch their attention. So I think that Steve might agree that that's something that I do, and I think it helps people to remember you. So I appreciate you all. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian. It's great to have you back in Caerusnet. And hopefully, maybe you can go to the breakfast this year on July 22. It'd be awesome to give you a big hug, my friend. I know
Yeah.
you've got a bigger family now, too.
Yes.
Okay, well, hey, we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to jump over to Wendy Caverly. Wendy Caverly, I've often been told, is kind of like Steve's referral sister because she also loves relationships, loves referrals. She facilitates 4 CirrusNet teams, and she's got her MVP members with her today. And I think, where are you zooming in from, Wendy, now?
So I am in Michigan today, but I'm headed
Oh,
home tomorrow.
okay.
So yeah, so I had a client that needed to be seen in person. So, and why is it 19 below zero? I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Well, Wendy, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you and the quality people you put on your teams. All of them are just such fun people and great people. Let's go ahead and go through your MVPs.
All right. So the first person I want to talk about actually is a two-time, this is his second year in the world winning, would be JJ Zielinski. And if you do not know JJ, I don't know how you don't. I mean, he is like the epitome of a connector and a networker. He participates in 14 different types of networking activities, groups, multiple CirrusNet teams, both with me and other facilitators. And I think he just kind of embodies that abundance mindset where it's not exclusivity that brings opportunity. It's the more people we know, the more people we can help. And it's remembering that you are standing at the center of that spider web and you are the connector between your groups. You are not 14 different people. You are one person connecting 14 different organizations to each other. And JJ is always just so generous with his time. He helps more than he should. I mean, he does. He helps more than he should quite often, but he also knows that sometimes things are hard, sometimes things are bad. Business goes wrong for people, years are bad, economies tip. And it's the together that helps us ride it all through. And he knows that if he helps now, it will come back to him in the future. And so he never hesitates to do more than he should. And so that's a big sister kind of like, you need to stop it, but not for me though. Keep doing more than you should for me. So JJ Zielinski, Lake House Studios. I didn't even tell you what he did. I just told you what kind of man he was. JJ,
You're
you're on
you're mute,
mute.
you're muted,
Gonna
JJ.
say, there we go. Well, first of all, Wendy, thank you so much. And also, I just want to give a shout out to Wendy because Wendy is not only really good at what she does, but something really important that you bring up is just like the connections and just building those relationships, both personally and professionally. Um, that's something that I noticed with a lot of different organizations and being a part of even 14 organizations now. The reason why I'm a part of the teams that I'm in is because I love building those personal and professional relationships because the more that we connect and bond together, like the more we can actually just like help each other in so many different ways. And I think it's so important. Wendy, you are a guru at just like not only seeing those connections, but just knowing just the right opportunities and how we could all work together. As I like to joke around like a wolf pack to really help each other out. And times get tough. Like whether it's the economy or we have our own personal struggles, which we all have our personal challenges. And it's good that we can actually have those relationships to work together too. Something that also another team member brought up, Anya, I know that you were saying that, certain organizations too, it felt like very transactional. I've had the same feeling, which is why when I first met Wendy, I could see that Wendy and her teams, they're more than just a transactional, just like, like relationship. There's something deeper. And Wendy, I just want to say thank you. Hashtag Wendy's Warriors. And also to answer the last question too, what would I recommend about Caerusnet? Again, it's kind of just like having those personal and professional relationships. Something that I tell people too when it comes to just like checking out our groups is give it time. A lot of people also have in their head like they want instantaneous, just like success or just like referrals. To me, it's about let's play the long game. Let's take the moments to really like connect with people, understand each other, see how we could work together as a team and grow. And trust me, you're going to see a lot of prosperity in the long run. So thank you.
Excellent. All right. So my second MVP is actually Jake Ardenson, who probably was very surprised because actually I didn't take a vote this year. I literally just decided who I thought in each group deserved a little extra kudos to them. And Jake Ardenson is a member of the West Oakland County team. And I chose him because he always brings so much humor to the group, so much energy. We laugh a lot. The West Oakland team is a small team, but it is a team that we laugh a lot. We have a good time with each other. We're always looking at things in a multitude of different ways, and that's that solid foundation that is so important to actually creating those results. I mean, yes, he's an insurance agent. He's an independent agent, so he can write anything, but having someone that you can not only trust but enjoy the process with is just makes that a night and day difference. So this gave me a great opportunity to just say I see you and I appreciate you, because it's hard sometimes being the funniest person in the room and having to always bring the energy, and it was nice that I can hand that off to Jake.
No easy task, Wendy, but thank you. Appreciate it. It's a great place to, let that shine a little bit because we got to have fun in our business. And Caerusnet has been truly a fun place to just collaborate and rub shoulders with other business owners. So as a kid, I dreamed of, accepting the NBA MVP one day at center court. The Caerusnet trophy is a close second, let me tell you. So thank you guys, making dreams come true. They do happen. I look forward to seeing you on the streets of Disney World, with my trophy. So love it. There's my little script, my spiel. So all seriousness though, my advice to others would be, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And what I mean by that is, don't come in, thinking it's all transactional. You're just going to get referrals day one. I myself had that mindset when I first started networking groups, not just Caerusnet. And I had to rewire that and took some time. And Wendy was an important piece of helping transform that mindset and what it took to be successful in your industry. So I really appreciate Wendy taking some time, talking me off the ledge a few times of when I was panicking of like, what have I done and what is going on? Wendy's been a great mentor and a great friend. So I do appreciate that, Wendy. So appreciate it.
Thank you. I actually got really lucky because 3 of my 4 MVP members are in more than one of my team. And all 3 that are on this call today do actually share one team. So if you ever wanted to come to a team where 3 MVPs for 1 year are also sitting members, that would be that West Oakland County team. But Cole Lannis is also the financial advisor in the Livingston morning group as well. So it was really nice because it gave me the opportunity to recognize multiple members for one team because they participate in other teams as well. And Cole Lannis is a financial advisor with Thrivent. And what I really enjoy about him is he takes that servant mentality, not only to his clients, but to his connections very seriously. Like he wants to know you and help you. And I have yet to hear him say, that this person's not worth my time, or this person is asking me for things that I don't do in a profession. He is always, who do I know? How do I help? And just that person who is willing to listen because he knows that true results for longevity is layers. it's not dump that pile and there you go, but the foundation is built over time and it's built in layers. And he really does bring that sincerity and that focus that I find inspirational as well, because sometimes we do get very caught up in what our immediate needs are, and the reminder that you will never go wrong by being of value to somebody else. So that would be Cole Annis.
I appreciate that, Wendy. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be a part of the West Oakland group, Oakland County group, and then to be able to step into the Livingston group as well. And it's interesting, Jake and I actually met doing some other networking, and then he introduced me to this group, and it's felt different, it's felt organic, it's felt more genuine, and I think that's just because there's not a priority on bringing certain things to check a box to the groups. And I'm probably speak for everybody on the call when I say this, like, we don't want to blindly refer people before we know what kind of person that is, because somebody can be great at their job, but they could be a terrible human being. So I think the group has helped facilitate those conversations and just, deepening the relationships. And then once you get to know somebody, it's like, hey, you're good at your job too. So like, this is a win-win. You're a good person, good at your job. And, that's important in the industries that we're in, because sometimes you can kind of feel like, hey, if I refer somebody, that's like an extension of my reputation, and the value and the service that you bring to your clients. You want to make sure that that extension by referral is carried or uplifted in terms of service. So appreciate it. Yeah, it's just been very genuine. Um, any advice? I agree with JJ's sentiment and some of the other things that you guys have mentioned. Like, it's delayed gratification. Nothing happens immediately. You have to build and foster those relationships. And in a society where we are always hit with instant gratification opportunities, I think if you can play the long game, it will serve you and the people that you serve all the better.
Okay, Wendy, those are all your MVPs, correct, that are here?
I don't know if Bill is here. I haven't seen him, so I'm assuming no.
Okay, well, you did a fantastic job, and thank you, Team Caverly, MVPs. You guys are fantastic. We're going to keep this moving along. I think we're probably going to have a photo finish here at the top of the hour, but I'm going to do my introductions very quickly for my team MVPs, and I think we'll get us caught up on track as well too. So first and foremost, I'm going to introduce. Dr. Aaron Bannister. Dr. Aaron Bannister, boy, has been a longtime member of my Brighton Tuesday 8 o'clock group. He was part of that when we were in person. And you know what? He's got the exact same heartbeat, the exact same effort, doing it over Zoom. Dr. Aaron has loved to gamify his Caerusnet experience. He likes to challenge himself. How can I get a referral to this new member? I've never referred for this type of business before. And just like anything in life, when you set out to do something, if it's in your mind, there's a greater likelihood it's going to happen. And beyond that, Dr. Aaron really loves his team. He's had actually some moments where he's let the team know how much he appreciates them and has teared up. And you can't fake that kind of thing. That's authentically who he is. So Dr. Aaron, I'm so glad to have you on this call. It's the first time you've been able to be a part of one of these, even though it's not your first MVP.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I think I've been in Caerusnet for 10 years now. So and I think this is my sixth one. I'm not sure. A couple of them didn't survive the move. So but yeah, you used to do them on Saturday, and then we worked, and then when we stopped working Saturdays, then you moved it to Friday, and I was like yeah, and so we just kept messing them. But yeah, so appreciate you, Steve. So I'm a holistic doc, I guess is what you call me. So I do a little nutrition, a little chiropractic, a lot of muscle stuff because I have background in massage therapy. So I'm good at finding underlying problems for people's health concerns. I am bad at clinical detachment. I become friends with my patients. They become like family, and that's a lot of like what my team is to me. So when I go to a meeting, it's not like a chore. It's like hanging out with friends, and so by passing a referral, what I'm doing essentially is just connecting a couple friends together. So it makes it easy. And then if I were to yeah, exactly. And so, if I would give some advice, I think a couple people mentioned this. There's two ways people remember you and what you say. One is to make them laugh, and one is to make them cry. And so I tend to, my background's kind of professional today, but usually I do something goofy. I do some kind of weird video. So just kind of make people laugh. And then, I'll tell a story about a patient that'll tear them up. So then they kind of keep me in mind. So that's kind of my advice to members.
Hey, awesome stuff, Dr. Aaron. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you could be here at this. We're going to jump over to my Ann Arbor 1 o'clock team. Stacy Freisinger with Choice Senior Home Care is just, man, I have so much admiration for this business professional. She really takes her team with her. She goes to networking events to see how she can be helpful to other people. And as a result of her putting other people first, they take notice of Stacy, and she has just become a phenomenal relationship builder. She spent last year intentionally looking to grow her business, make great connections, and it was absolutely noticeable. Stacy was just a marathon runner with the sprinter's mentality. It was just phenomenal, and she is the MVP of our Ann Arbor team. So thank you so much for being here today, Stacy.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. I also want to give a shout out to Wendy, who was my first facilitator. My territory kind of adjusted. I kind of had to pivot. But I had zero idea when I joined Caerusnet how to network. I didn't really get the value of networking. I'm a clinician, so it just wasn't part of my previous experience. And it's just really become an important part of my it's been an important part of my kind of ongoing education, I like to think of it. Um, and it has really, I understand the value. I appreciate it. I feel like I took a leap of faith initially when I joined Wendy's team, but the give to get philosophy, it really stuck with me. And that is, to this day, that is how I approach my relationships with families, with clients, with other professionals. If I can show them the kind of, you know, person I am, the kind of values that I have by doing for others. Um, I hope that it reflects in my professional life as well. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stacy. And again, everybody, when we're done with this today, I'll be sending you the recording of this as well as everybody's contact information. Because if you haven't done trust builders with each other, imagine the kind of magic that can happen from that. We're going to jump over to Amy Knight. Amy Knight does real estate right. She also does referrals and networking absolutely right. She is an exemplary member of my Wednesday 8 o'clock team, which was actually the original team Doug Moffat was on, if you can believe it. Great things have come from that team. Amy, very much like Dr. Aaron, just finds a way to get everybody on her radar. She's referred EV charging stations to the electrician on the team. She already had a client she referred to the mortgage person on the team that recently joined. She just always has the faith that things are going to work out so long as she has her team with her. So, Amy, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks to you, Steve, the OG, right? Um, what I really, really love about Caerusnet. Now, I don't have any BNI experience to compare it to, so I came in fresh 5 years ago to our other OG, Jim Campbell, who is a master at telling us about this really fantastic thing called Caerusnet. What I see in it the what I love about it is, since Steve, you have the deep-rooted passion for small business, which is what we all are, right? None of us decided one day, you know what? I think I'll go through all the pain and agony of starting my own business because I have nothing else to do. We went into it because we have a big heart for our are gifts given to us for everything that everybody does. And we are ready to roll up our sleeves and slog through the hard and the easy and the fun. And Steve, because you have a heart for that, you created a group where we get to see each other's heart. You know, somebody else had mentioned how many times in our group have we found out whose son just got married, who just lost a parent, who is having another baby, and getting that kind of connection in addition to seeing their profession up close allows us to see what drives them and how I know I can absolutely trust my referrals to those people. Their hearts are in the right place, right? That's why they do what they do. Tips. When I started doing this last year, my tips are just like super boring but effective. Here's my Caerusnet notebook. Every meeting, I take notes, and it helps me listen more intentionally. Like, oh, okay, Jim Campbell just mentioned something about new insurance for Airbnbs. All right, I got to write that down. Somebody just had a birthday. I got to write that down, and then I go back and so taking notes that works for me, so I can really listen more closely to to the things that other people in our group might do that make a difference to my client base. Then every Wednesday, since our Caerusnet group is on Wednesday, I've now dedicated that as my referral touch day. So that's a day, even when we're not meeting, I might call the people in our Caerusnet group and say, hey, I'm just curious. Last time you talked about this new investment product. Tell me a little bit more about that. And then the rest of the day is calling my database, my clients who might not be buying or selling right now, but they might have a need for one of their products, one of their offers. So I've just made that my day to do it, to target in. And of course, my intention also is to do more pan Caerusnet mixers with fun. So be on the lookout for something coming in March.
All right. Thank you so much, Amy. I appreciate you. We've got two more of mine. And then after that, what I'm going to ask is if anybody has a hard stop and has to go, that we'll go to that facilitator and you next. I want to be sure we include everybody. And I appreciate all of the great stuff that you're sharing with the team today. Okay, so we're going to jump over next to Robert Pierce. Robert Pierce owns a business called This Guy Cleans House. This guy also knows how to build relationships and really bring magic everywhere he goes with his authenticity. Robert was referred to my Caerusnet team right when we went into the pandemic by two different members, and he wasn't sure how the whole thing was going to work. And I heard the language earlier in this meeting. Somebody said being talked off a ledge. Talked off a ledge. That happens sometimes. And Robert, when he was starting his business, was starting to feel the overwhelm and the weight of everything and wasn't sure after being on the Caerusnet team for about 3 months if he could keep going. And so we had a really amazing heart to heart, and he kept going. And he kept going. And not only that, but he runs now two of his own fellowship Caerusnet teams where they bring the Lord's Prayer into it. He does this in Fenton, where his business is based and where he lives. Robert, thanks for all you do. You bring the authenticity with you everywhere you go.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. You know, the awesome thing about the relationships that I have built is that I've been able to see, and someone mentioned like how, I think it was Amy was just saying it about how, you know, when someone's birthday is, you know, when someone's had a kid or someone's getting married or something like that. That connection, that relationship, family mentality is really important for what, you know, I look to help me grow and help me understand and help me learn how to network and be a better person myself. And you know, I was talked off a ledge, you know, but there's great things about this, and something that's really important is that Steve has, when I needed to make a phone call and have a conversation about something personal in my life, you know, he is definitely one that would pick up the phone and answer the phone and have a conversation. And I remember, I believe it was last summer, we were on the phone for probably an hour and a half, just talking about a certain situation in my life. And it was just it's a blessing to have men and women in my life to have fellowship with, to have conversations with. And it's just, again, I know we're in a networking group here, but this is about building relationships, and then that makes you want to refer each other, not have to refer each other. So advice for me, if I'm giving advice, is just continue to trust builder meetings are really important. And when I introduce my MVP, he's one of the best at these things, and I just want to you just continue to encourage. You got to meet more people. You got to continue to meet people, whether it becomes like someone said, a referral, or it doesn't become a referral. It just becomes a friendship, a partnership. Even if you don't talk for once a year, it's still a friendship. I haven't talked to JJ in a year. He's still my friend. So love you, JJ. And Cole, I know Cole really well, and he's a great dude. Anyway, to my point is just continue to build those relationships.
Hey, Robert, thank you so much. We'll be coming back to you to share your facilitator MVPs that you have, but I've got one more MVP myself. When you meet Joe Tiberi, he's a big man. You would think he was a lineman for an NFL football team. You'd be surprised to learn that he was a tennis player. Doug Moffat might take note in that. I'd love to see you guys play tennis together sometime. But Joe has a heart of gold. He's actually a really gigantic teddy bear. He's got a heart of gold. He actually has been an MVP of the Ann Arbor 11 o'clock team on Tuesday a number of times. And earlier last year, I think it was, I'm losing track of time, Joe, he sold his Farm Bureau agency. And that Farm Bureau agent came onto the team, and that person just wasn't Joe. There was a disconnect because of how that person approached the referral team versus how Joe approaches the referral team. And crazy thing about it, Joe started his own insurance agency. And when that person left, was able to jump right back into the team, which I think is amazing. Final thing that I'll add, Joe's a touchy-feely guy. And we love the fact that once a month he opens up his office to a hybrid meeting. So anybody that wants to attend kind of in person can be a part of the in-person side of it, and everybody else logs on over Zoom. So Joe, thank you so much for your MVP heartbeat.
No, thanks, Steve. Yeah, I mean, if I could say anything about Caerusnet, I can say that any success I've seen in business over the last, it's been 11 years, I think, or so that I've been in Caerusnet, and I started as a Farm Bureau agent, started my agency, grew my agency to be pretty large, got kind of sick of that situation there and got rid of it. And one of the hardest parts was, I was sad that I was going to be leaving Caerusnet because everybody keeps talking. I know Robert just said too, that relationship piece is the most important part. And in order to refer somebody, you've got to feel comfortable with them. You've got to be, it's got to be that understanding that if I'm sending a client to you, you're an extension of me, just the same as if you send somebody to me, I'm an extension of you and your business, and I'm a representation of that. And that's what I've always said. I've always preached that. And the other piece that I can say as far as Caerusnet goes and success in Caerusnet is patience. Because everybody that I've ever brought into the group or anybody that I meet with when we do our one-on-ones or whatever the situation might be there is be patient. You have to build your relationship with the people within the group before they're going to start sending referrals to you. And, like you said, the agent that came in to replace me because I was leaving the insurance game, I was getting out of this completely and I was going to, ride off into the sunset and then realized that I'm crazy and decided that I'd rather start a new agency than do anything else because I am obsessed with being an insurance agent, I guess, is you've got to be patient. You've got to build those relationships. But, without Caerusnet, I would not be successful or be where I am today. And I can say that with wholeheartedness because of the relationships I have with Steve, but also the relationships of the last 11 years are with quality people. And I've surrounded myself with the most quality people because of the relationships I built in this organization that Steve's put together. And he knows I love him and he knows I love Caerusnet. And this is the key to success, I believe, as far as being an entrepreneur or being a business owner.
Great information, Joe. Thank you so much. And, Joe and I may love each other a lot unless we're talking about Green Bay versus Detroit. Then we have a problem. But either way, we still love each other. Hey, with that being said, yeah, go. Okay, well, hey, Does anybody have to leave right away? I want to be sure that if you have to leave right away, I can call on your facilitator to introduce you. But if not, that's great. I think we're still going to be really close to the top of the hour. Let's jump over to John Manwiller there at Edward Jones. I hope your tag along there is getting some great information here. But John, go straight ahead, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. So our group, when we started it, was a Brighton Fenton group, and Hannah and I were co-facilitators of it. Earlier this year, Hannah and I had baby number two. She sold her store. She's kind of taken a back seat. And so Shannon, our MVP, is in Fenton. She's kind of stepped into that role as the anchor for Fenton in our team, and she's really been she's been the MVP all year. We didn't do this by me picking it; we did it by our team voting on it, and everybody loves Shannon. So I think the biggest word that I would share about Shannon for her would be education. She's super passionate about education with her students, with our team, and I'll let her share more about that.
Hi, guys. Thank you for staying on the call, even though some of you might have to go. I find such value in my Caerusnet group and in being with people who have not only become, you know, coordinators with all of the things that we have going on, our complex kind of network of people that I can always call on, but these people are my friends, and I can't explain that in a more more significant way, is that people like Connor, people like John, we have become friends. And so while I've heard several times it's getting to know people, that's what really counts. And before you send someone a referral, you're like, well, I know that they're so good at their job, but it's so helpful to build these relationships and have meaningful, authentic connections. I'm fortunate to work in finance, but my background is in education as well. So being able to just lead with integrity and treat people genuinely, not using the stereotypical banter of treat people how you want to be treated, but authentically treat people how you want to be treated and empower them and give them knowledge and information as a tool to make choices. And that is one of my favorite things about our Caerusnet group, is all of my peers in our group, all of our members in our local group especially, I know they do that. They lead with integrity and they are authentic, and I have no problem sending them. I just know that they are excellent, and I can count on them to even the most delicate people that I know and that I trust. So that is, probably my most favorite thing. And I guess I kind of second some other comments about taking notes. I'm a lifelong educator, and so I'm always taking notes. I always have notes in my notebook here to take notes on things that I want to recommend or questions I want to ask, and I can always go back and reference them. I just like that you can always count on someone in our group. And like I said, I've been doing this for a few years with John. John, I don't remember the month and year that we started, but being able to be alongside John and people like Connor this whole time just provides immense value to me as a person. So thank you so much for having me today.
Great share, Shannon. Congratulations on your MVP, and glad that you were with us this morning. Before anybody leaves, I also want to let you know I'd love to interview you for the Caerusnet podcast if that's something you're interested in. I just put my calendar into the chat. Podcasts are recorded over Zoom. They're real smooth and easy to do, and I'd love to have you if that's something that you'd like to do, is be shared with the entire network. Is Connor Messina still on this call? Was he able to stay?
Yep, I'm
There
still
he
here.
is. There he is, Connor. Why don't you go ahead and go next, sir?
Yeah. So my MVP for my team is Bradley Showalter. He was a core member of the team. Our team's not that old. We really started and kicked everything off maybe January or February of last year. So we're fresh into a year, and it was a great year. Unfortunately, Brad's not available. He's on the call, but he's not available to answer the questions. He had another obligation kind of taking him away from the meeting. Our Caerusnet group is technically labeled as Caerusnet Belleville, but when the time we started, I was the only one in Belleville that held down that location. I've now moved to Florida, and majority of our group members are spread across the state. So I think our team name is in need of a change here soon, because Belleville's not represented by anyone in the group. It's just Team Michigan at this point. But anyways, more about Brad. Brad's a realtor representing Pine Path Collective. Great guy, great friend. The reason that I chose Brad as MVP of our team kind of boils down to something that Steve put in the chat a little earlier in the meeting, which was the MVP award doesn't necessarily go or is given out because of referrals, right? Not to say that Brad wasn't diligent with referrals, but I made the choice to name him MVP because he did the other stuff as well outside of referrals. There was a decent amount of referral passing in our group between majority of the members, but at the end of the day, there were other things that are relevant in my mind, like attendance. I think Brad maybe missed 1 or 2 meetings for the entire year. Everyone's always got something going on, right? So to have that in your calendar as a dedicated time slot, it's important. Brad bought into the culture right away that I kind of wanted to form this group on, which was friendship. Like, all of us as core members of my group are good friends, I would say. I mean, we do hang out outside of the group, right? We have lunches together. It's not just a 1 hour every 2 weeks. I'll see you next 2 weeks, right? It's more than that. I'm in a fantasy football league with Brad, and that started in the middle of our Caerusnet group, right? So just to show, like, it's not just business. It's personal and professional, which I think is a very important factor to incorporate when you're looking to network. Because I'm a firm believer that nobody is going to send business to someone that they do not know, like, and trust. And to be friends with someone means you're already taking that next step to get to know, like, and trust them, right? So he represented the culture that we were trying to create in the group, and with attendance plus activity and culture fit and referrals. I mean, he got one of our group members their dream house just this past couple months. So just represented the culture very well.
Well, you did a phenomenal job representing Bradley and kind of speaking on his behalf, Connor. And you're doing a great job. I'll help you brainstorm a new name for Team Belleville. With that being said, we have one more. Thank you so much for Robert Pierce being patient to introduce his MVP. Robert, hopefully you can do that still. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm good. All right. Yeah. So we got Alan Green from Farm Bureau. Alan Green, I have known Alan for almost 4 years now. And I also have known his brother for almost 4 years, Perry Green. And Alan has, we started doing like free networking groups together, me and Alan and Perry. And it was just a collaborative effort of continuing to hang out. And Mike Johnson actually was part of this a lot too. And we constantly found ways to get together and network. Through maybe it was just figuring out what networking really was, figuring out what EOS stands for and how to build an EOS system in your solopreneur business, and just a lot of things. And then when I decided to become a facilitator, Alan and Perry and Mike were the first 3 people I called that I would want them to join. Alan has, I've seen him grow so much. Excuse me, grow so much, and the not only in his business but through his faith walk, through his being a great father for his kids, being a great husband for his wife. We have had multiple breakfasts and lunches together, and Alan has just been a superior light in our group, superior light in just everything that we've done. So a trust builder extraordinaire. He wants to meet. He wants to have conversations. He wants to have coffee. And he's never even really sold me on anything every time I had a conversation with him. It's all about just talking about life and doing things and what he does. And maybe some information about what he's added or what he's doing in his business. But it's always a genuine, and we mentioned an authentic, integrity. It has high integrity, has an authentic visit. That's what Alan is. It's just who he is and who he is as a man. and it's just a beautiful man, and I love what he's done for our group. And yeah, attendance as well. Guy drives from Birch Run to Fenton, and probably missed maybe 3 meetings. And it's just it's an amazing thing to see. So, but yeah. So Alan Green for you.
Well, thank you. It's been a while since I've been called a beautiful man. I'm not gonna lie. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate the introduction. Alan Green, Farm Bureau Insurance, multi-line agent. I've been at it for coming up on 7 years now. And to being in SiriusNet, it's kind of like, it's funny, like I don't like sitting in echo chambers often, but this is an echo chamber I like sitting in right now, because just hearing the level of authenticity from everybody and the level of organic, non-transactional relationships that are happening because of SiriusNet and amongst it's a great thing. And hats off to Robert as a facilitator, to have somebody who leads with a servant's heart to teach other people how to, that's what we're all here to do, right? Is to be servants to one another and servants to the Lord as well. It's just an amazing path to be on, to have Robert there to lead us. And being in the groups, like the relationships are just, they're next level. Absolutely. Like Robert said, when I get together for people to meet up for coffee, lunch, the chances of talking, I mean, business happens, but the conversation is about life and about things that actually matter, and about taking care of one another and what we can do to help each other grow professionally, personally, and all those things moving forward. So yeah, it's really, it's great. And the advice for somebody new joining would be, Jake said it very well: get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's a huge thing in life in general, and a lot of people have trouble with speaking in front of people and going out of their shell and getting into groups. And I know that from being an introvert. I'm an introvert with kind of extrovert tendencies, I guess. Like, I recharge by being alone with nobody around me, but I love people at the same time. Once you get used to being around people and building those relationships, you feed off it. And SiriusNet's just a great pathway to do it, and do it organically. It's awesome.
Well, that is just what a great finishing MVP recognition, Alan. I think you just summed up everything perfectly of what we talked about today. And I love the concept of positive echo chamber. I'm the same way. I really appreciate you. I can feel the love and energy right through our screens. And wouldn't be surprised if I didn't see a lot of you back here same time next year. Just a quick thing, I will be following up with everybody with another email that's going to have a recording of this. Appreciate you guys. You've been shared on social medias for just being the epitome of what Know, Like, and Trust is all about. You guys set the stage, you set the example. So I just wanted to say thank you once again. Thank you also for your patience. I think every word that was shared today meant something, and we didn't rush it, and people weren't, let's move it, let's move it. You guys just did a great job. And I hope that this fills your buckets, carries with you for this weekend, and you can take that beautiful energy and touch people that you love with it, because people out there need it. And again, thank you very much for today. Thank you, facilitators, for leading with example and bringing on such amazing people. And thank you, SiriusNet MVP members, for again being that example that all the other SiriusNet members can see and believe in. So thank you very much. Wish you all a blessed rest of your weekend, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you at Referraltopia March 5, and then July 22 for the SiriusNet breakfast at the Crystal Gardens Banquet Center. Going to be over the top again this year, so look forward to seeing you then. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank
Safe,
you.
everyone.